Increasing and decreasing interval of transformed function. I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we'll try to understand how transformations affect decreasing interval of a given function. So I've taken here a function which is a very general function and will help us to understand the concept. So f of x, you can see, is decreasing from minus infinity to minus 4. It is constant from minus 4 to minus 2, increasing between minus 2 and x value of minus 1, and then it is constant till 1 and then decreasing after x equals to 1. So we can write decreasing intervals for the given function. So let me write increasing interval and decreasing interval for the given function, okay? And then we will see how, when the function gets transformed, these intervals change. So that's the whole idea of this video. So first we'll consider the function itself. So we'll say for f of x, increasing interval is actually from minus 2 to minus 1. So this point is minus 1. So it is from minus 2 to minus 1. And then no other interval it is increasing. This is in fact decreasing. Whenever you see a graph, you have to see from left to right. So that is the increasing interval. And the decreasing interval is from minus infinity to minus 4. It is constant here. And then it is decreasing from 1 to infinity, right? So, and from 1 to infinity. So that is the interval during which the given function is increasing or decreasing. Now, if I transform the function, so I can write the transformation like, if the function becomes 2 times f of x, that means vertically stretched by a factor of 2, and let's translate it vertically up or down. So let me translate it up by 1 unit. Now the question is, will that affect increasing and decreasing interval for the given function? Think about it. If I stretch these things by a factor of 2 and move them 1 unit up, in that case the lines may become steeper, but the interval of increasing and decreasing will remain exactly same, correct? So what we get here is that whenever you do vertical stretch or compression, or you do vertical translation, the intervals don't really change. They remain same. So let me write down the same values. And from 1 to infinity. Okay, so it remains same. But if I reflect it, that is to say, if I consider a function which is minus of f of x, then what happens? If I reflect the function, then the decreasing interval becomes increasing. Do you see that? They interchange. So when we reflect the function vertically, in that case the intervals interchange. So the initially, which was decreasing, becomes increasing. So that becomes increasing, right? So we get here minus infinity to minus 4 and from 1 to infinity. And the decreasing interval for a reflected function, reflection on x-axis, will be minus 2, minus 1, right? So that is the effect of vertical reflection, right? So reflection along the x-axis when a value is negative. It interchanges increasing and decreasing interval. And now let us see what happens when the horizontal stretch or compression is performed or translation is performed. So we'll take a function which is f of, let us say, 2x. Now when I say f of 2x, that means the function is horizontally compressed by a factor of half, right? So in that case, what happens? When I am trying to compress the function horizontally, all these points will move inwards halfway. So minus 4 will actually come at minus 2. So we'll have a function which will be kind of like this, right? And minus 2 will move to 1. So it will be here, right? Minus 1 will be halfway. So that will be the transformed function. Do you see that? Even on the right side, they will compress horizontally by a factor of half, right? And so all these things, so the transform function for me in this case will be like this. Do you see that? Now with that, you can appreciate that the interval changes. So the x values really get multiplied by half. That is how it changes, right? So in this case, when we are doing horizontally compression or stretch, the x values will change. As you can see from here, the interval, this decreasing interval, now instead of from minus infinity to minus 4, it is up to minus 2, right? So minus 4, half, correct? And then it decreases from half to infinity. The increasing interval, which was initially from minus 2 to 1, is now from minus 1 to half. So the x values get multiplied by half, right? And so we have the intervals as half of these values, which is minus 1 to minus half, and half of these values, minus infinity to minus 2. So that is the effect of horizontal stretch or compression. So the interval also gets multiplied by reciprocal of that factor, right? If I have translation, horizontal translation, then what happens? What I'm trying to say is if I have x minus 1, in that case, our original function is translated 1 unit to the right. And so all these x values will be plus 1, right? And then the increasing and decreasing interval, we have to add 1. So we'll get increasing interval from minus 2 plus 1, which is minus 1, and minus 1 plus 1 is 0. And the decreasing interval will be the negative doesn't get affected by adding or subtracting some values. But minus 4 minus 1 will give us minus 5. And then it is from 0 to infinity. I hope with this you understand the effect of all the parameters which are involved in transformation, right? So remember, if we have a transformation g of x, which is a times f of k times x minus p plus q, in that case, vertical stretch or compression really does not affect increasing decreasing interval. However, if a is negative, it reverses. As far as k is concerned, the value of k, if it is greater than 1, in that case there is a horizontal compression by a factor of 1 over k. The values get multiplied by 1 over k. If k is less than 1, for example half, there will be a stretch. So these values will be multiplied by reciprocal of the fraction. As far as p is concerned, it is horizontal translation. If p is positive, that means the function moves right. So all the x values will get added up by the p value. If p is negative, the function moves left, and these x values will be minus of that value. Q does not really affect the increasing and decreasing interval. So that is how we can summarize the effect of increasing and decreasing interval of a transformed function. I hope that helps. You can subscribe to my videos and learn a lot. Thank you and all the best.